Hello, my name is G.Collett, co-founder of Fogata Films. Our first rocket stove was this large rocket stove built by a South African artist named Indigenous. I've been scheming to build rocket stoves for indigenous populations for 3 years plus now, and didn't really have any way to make it happen. Then I met Guillermo. I worked on a brake job in my Land Rover, and he had the shop and a welder. I started to draw up ideas, and we collaborated on our first stove, which was this version without a door and a thinner shaft and a thinner surface. This stove doesn't get as hot and needs a lot more maintenance. We came up with this final stove, which is what we're now making for the indigenous populations. Fogata Films is a 100% dedicated idea. I wanted, and I do want, and I do implement filmmaking into projects. I do not want them to be separate. I do not think that filmmaking is anything different than a plumbing job or any job that requires a work ethic and talent, skills, practice, and work. What we do with these indigenous populations and this rocket stove project is literally build these stoves and take these stoves to these families. And all of that is subjective. We meet people in the jungle after 4 years of working that have great need. And to help them, of course, the first thing they want is money. And we can't do that because we have no money. And also, it's not the right way to take this. We don't want to follow the pattern of the Christians and the missionaries and all of the organizations that have come here and left. There is something greater and some opportunity more potentially pragmatic to these communities if we can figure out how to give them tools so they stay on the land and protect the earth. Fogata Films is 100% dedicated to that since we were originally created 2012. We've never collected any wages for our work. At times we live on pennies at this house, eating off of our garden and living in a world that we've created that doesn't require much money to survive. Our dedication to the indigenous is steadfast. This June 21st, we had a son. His name is Alan Sol. He was born on the solstice, Shikayim, spirit of the forest. That's a Shuar name, workman Colette. After having Alan, it was even more important to me that we find pragmatic ways to reach out to people who live on the planet, who live on the land, the indigenous. The land will not survive if we do not continue to support these people. Because in the end, the only passion besides skiing powder and surfing and remaining an athlete that rides above all things for me is protecting the earth. We have to have a commitment to protecting the earth that's realistic and functions, not one that is a pedantic approach, classic of the Western paradigm, but one that is working with humility in these populations, learning what we can learn and offering what we can offer in a humble gesture. So these rocket stoves are just an example of two people coming up with an idea, two people that have no financial means to pull it off, but believe if we don't try that we'll lose these populations, and most importantly, the aggressive industrialization and attack of the earth will continue, and the stewards whom live on these lands won't be here to protect it. It's the most logical formula to me. If we defend these people, they have the most to lose by losing the land. So therefore, defending them defends the land. And all things, in the end, come down to that.